This is a video about cheap knives versus expensive knives. Now, I don't have any, per se, real expensive knives. I think the most expensive one is about the $30 range that I have. But I wanted to demonstrate that regardless of how much you spend on a knife, if you know how to sharpen it and you don't abuse it, you can get a blade is a blade. Now, to demonstrate that, I've from least expensive to most expensive I own. I'm just going to go through them. This is, some of you may know, this is the Walmart $1 special, and it's made in China. I got this at a knife paraphernalia shop in Tijuana sometime about 30 years ago, and or 20 years ago. It's really cheap. I don't even know where it's made. Chances are it was made in China or Mexico or something, but it was really cheap. I don't think I paid more than $2 for it. I got this for free from a knife order. Believe I got this somewhere, some like convenience store for $7. It's made in China. So these four are made in China. This is, of course, this is not a Victorinox. It is a Wenger or Wenger, and it is an official Swiss Army knife. I actually got it from a guy who was in the Swiss Army. So you notice the crest is a little different from a true Victorinox, and this is a true Victorinox. This one's a little heavier because it's got the metal side piece there versus this is plastic. And then this is a Navy issue knife that I got when I was in the Navy, and it's got a marlin spike on it, and what the marlin spike is for rope work or line work, as they say in the Navy. You use it to splice line together, but it's got a pretty decent edge on it, and I've never used it. It's brand new. Here's a plastic that packaging that it came with, and of course it's been pretty degraded, but I've never used it. It's brand new. I picked this up at Wally World for $7. It's a Winchester or something, I think. Yeah, it's a Winchester utility knife. It was on sale for $7, but chances are it's made in China. This is my Leatherman. This is my go-to utility knife, and I got this about 20 years ago while I was in the Navy, and you've seen how sharp it was on one of my others, but I'll still use it as part of the demonstration. And of course, this is my Mercator. I got this, I ordered this, and then this is also made by Otter Messer, or Solingen, whatever. I'll put the link below. But this is some sort of nautical knife, but I think I paid about $30 for it. So that's the extent of the expense and the knives that I have. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up and show you how sharp they are in their current condition, and then hopefully later I can successfully demonstrate that with enough sharpening you can get them all to the same usable utility edge, or even beyond that, shaving edge, if you so desired. So let me set the camera up. First knife is the old Wally World $1 special, and it's even busted. I'm actually going to take it apart and make a new side for it, but just show you what it is, that it's pretty dull, and it's got the serrated edge, which I'm not a big fan of, but the non-serrated edge, it's got a combo edge. You can tell it's pretty piss poor. So that's that. This is my $2 Mexico knife. It's got a tearing action to it, so you can see it's pretty unusable. This is my free knife from a knife order, so it's actually, well, not very good either. Well, it's pretty decent once you get it started, but it's not exactly the best edge out of the box. It's my $7 convenience store knife. I did sharpen it, so it does have a pretty decent edge. I've been cutting cardboard with it, but it's still pretty good. Once I put a better edge on it and strop it, it should be pretty good. I haven't sharpened this since I got it, and I think I got it last year from a friend of mine who was in the Swiss Army. So It's not the best of edges, so that just goes to show you even a good quality knife you can let get dull and have poor performance out of. This is brand new out of the box. I haven't used it, never used it. It was a gift. I think I got it 2-3 years ago. So that's pretty self-evident that Victorinox does make a good product, and it's sharp, again, out of the box. I've never used this before either, and it's going to be out of the box sharp, so to speak, or out of the bag sharp. And it's not a really good, you can see it's pretty thick, so it's more of a utility knife, more for cutting rope or leather or whatever utility type uses you have for it. Let's try it again. Yeah, so it's not exactly the sharpest blade, and I believe it's kind of a modified chisel cut. See the end of it. So I'll sharpen that up, see what it does. This is the Winchester $7 job. I don't know if I can even get it started. Yeah, it's pretty miserable. I'm glad I checked it because this is in my emergency bag. So it's it doesn't even really stick on your thumbnail. So yeah, it's pretty terrible. Of course, my Leatherman, you saw me sharpen that up. So it still has a decent edge. Not the best edge, but I still need to work on it. I've been cutting cardboard again with it. This is still out of the box, new. I haven't messed with it since I got it too much, really. So there you have it. This paper's being a little difficult. Well, trust me, it's pretty sharp. It can use some freshening up, but not too bad for out of the box. And then of course this one was pretty sharp. Just kind of whittles. So this one, obviously the $30 knife does the best. Yeah, this one needs to be freshened up a little bit. It has some grab to it, but all right. So off camera, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen these up, strop them up real good, and hopefully I can do a better demonstration. In the end there, stick around. Believe it or not, I got these sharpened up pretty good. Remember, actually we start with the cheapest one here. I don't remember what order they went in, but here's the Walmart cheapy $1, and Cutlery Lover has a good suggestion. He said buy one of these $1. I don't like the combo blade, but I don't know if these come in a straight blade or not, but it's really hard to get these to where you can test them because your cutting edge is only about that long, so you can only test it as like a utility knife or something. But remember how it was pretty terrible before. Let me turn the camera around. But now you can see it's not exactly razor sharp, but it has a good working edge on it. So I could cut something if I needed to. Has a pretty decent blade. And of course the serrations is for cutting like boxes and stuff like that. If anybody has a good idea or suggestion on how to sharpen these up, I guess you can get little files or little ceramic sticks or something to get in there, but I've never had a good way to really sharpen those areas. So you can see it's, I guess if you hold it still there, it makes a pretty decent cut. Alright, so that's the first one. The second one is my cheapy $2 Mexico knife. I still don't know where it's made. There's no stamping. Let me see if I can get this open here. It's so corroded because it's been sitting around so long. But yeah, there's no stamping or anything that says where it's from, but you can get an edge on it. So there you go. Not bad for a $2 POS. Now, I wouldn't exactly use this as an EDC. I'd probably put this in my tackle box or something and just leave it there. Now the difference between a $2 knife and probably a $50 knife is that it keeps its edge longer, but if it's just for a one-time use where you have time to sharpen in between, I would imagine it's just fine for that purpose. Now here's my free little lock back from China, and all I did was I had to work with the whetstone and the ceramic stick on this to get these two going. This one was pretty decent sharp out of the box, so all I did was hit it with the ceramic stick and hone it and strop it a little bit, but it's got a decent, it doesn't want to cooperate now, but it's got a decent edge to it. Again, this would be more of a tackle box type situation where you don't need it sharp all the time, or you don't use it all the time and need it to be sharp all the time. So kind of an emergency, put it in your car, or if you have a bug out bag or something, a good bug out bag. I don't know how much this one cost, it was free. So here's my $7 convenience store one, which is my everyday carry, and it does hold a decent edge. So not too bad for $7. Of course, the Victorinox, I didn't do a whole lot to this. I think the only thing I did was strop it. So no change there. This one was the Wenger, and it needed a little work. I did a little bit whetstone on it, put the ceramic on it, and strop it. So and it's not as sharp as the out-of-the-box Victorinox, but I think that's just me. I just need to spend a little more time on it. This has been my EDC, so it's got it does get a little bit more wear and tear, obviously, but not bad for a work knife. This one's still having problems with. Again, I bought this mainly as a kind of a camping tool, more for all the other junk in it versus the blade, but the blade it's kind of if you need it, it'll do the job, but not exactly an EDC knife. So it is sharper. You have to take my word for it. I did get it to cut a little better as compared to where it started, but since the cutting edge is only that long, it's really hard to do an effective demonstration. I did test it on my thumbnail, and it does take quite a bit of work to get this one back up to speed, so I'll just leave it. Now here comes the utility knife, the Navy utility knife with the marlin spike. But yeah, all I did to this was basically, I did do a little bit of whetstone, not much, maybe a couple minutes, and of course went through with the ceramic stick and strop it. So it's pretty good. Again, this is meant to cut like rope and leather and stuff like that, so it's not intended to be a razor blade sharp. You can see how thick it is, so it's more of a utility type knife, but you do want it sharp, but I don't think you necessarily need to be able to shave with it. Next is my Leatherman. You've seen me sharpen it up quite nicely before, so yeah, it's slices like butter. That's just me. So there you go. The K55K, I did have to do a little bit of grinding. I think it made these so long that the manufacturing presses and the process of sharpening it from the factory are pretty hurried, pretty rushed. So it's not razor sharp, but I did do a little bit of whetstone work and a little bit of the ceramic stick, and then stropped it. But now it's pretty sharp. So again, it's more for utility. I can get it a little sharper, but I really don't need it that much sharper. Now this one, I didn't do a whole lot to it. I just stropped it. it was already pretty sharp out of the box. So now, as with anything, you can take it to the extreme and get it to where you can shave, but I'm generally a lazy person. I just need to be able to cut what I need to cut with it, because the time you spend getting it to a razor's edge is kind of a thing called the 80-20 rule. You spend 80% of your time, or 20% of your time getting it 80% sharp, and then you spend the other 80% trying to get that last 20% sharp. Yeah, if that makes any sense to you, but trust me, the time you spend just to get it to this edge is minimal compared to if you wanted it to get razor sharp. And then when you get it razor sharp, obviously you have a very thin profile on your blade, and then if the first time you cut paper or something, you're gonna screw up that blade and get it back down to where you were if you would have stopped like 80% ago. So that's just a little bit of demonstration that you can, I guess my point is, you can get cheap blades sharp and to a usable edge. The difference, in my opinion, between say a $2 blade and a $30 blade is that the $30 blade should hold the edge a little bit longer, but albeit my $7 blade is probably just as good as far as keeping an edge as my $30 Leatherman, but my Leatherman does come with other accessories. But the steel in and of itself doesn't seem to be a whole lot different. So when you're choosing a knife, you have to really think of what you're going to use it for. And I don't know, I don't want to insult people who have $100 or $200 or $500 pocket knives. I just don't see the as far as utilitarian aspect of it. If you just need a knife, $7 to do you. If you're a collector, that's a different story. You like to collect knives. People like to collect all kinds of different things. But as far as what you need to cut with, I'm telling you right now, $2, $1 will do the job if you know how to keep it sharp. If you don't know how to keep it sharp, I don't know of an $80 or $100 knife will do you any good anyway. So that's my rant. That's all I got. I hope it was useful to you. And see you later.